Lesson 2, credit card usage. Credit cards are going to be your new best friends. Don't be afraid of credit cards, no matter what anyone has told you. If you listen to what I tell you, you will love credit cards and they will pay you back handsomely. Now, there are some of you out there who may be in credit card debt currently and may be skeptical of using credit cards even further. But, as you found out, you can't really live without them. So following the same principles I described below will be able to get you out of debt and start benefiting from credit cards. So what is a credit card? A credit card is simply a plastic card, once again like a debit card, that when you swipe it, deducts money from the credit card company's bank account, not yours. To repeat, this is the key difference between debit and credit. When you swipe credit card, money is coming out of the credit card company's bank account, not yours as a debit card would normally work. So to order a credit card, you simply go online to one of the major ones, as I'm sure you've seen the commercials, Capital One, Chase, Discover, Amex, and click the apply button, and you're done in a few minutes. And we'll go over an example of that in the next lesson of how to actually do that. But credit cards, what you do is that they add up all your purchases over a 1-month cycle and then present you with a bill. So for example, my billing period is from May 13th to June 14th. All my expenses are added up over that 30 days, and then my bill is going to be due on July 1st. It's kind of a 2-week waiting period they give you during your first bill. But it doesn't last. It's not always 2 weeks after that. So the next billing cycle is going to be June 15th to July 14th, and that bill will be due on August 1st, and so on and so forth. So my credit card bill is due on the first of every single month. But the great thing about credit cards is that you can actually set the due date with the company to align with your pay cycle. So a quick touch point on interest, and we'll dive deeper in a few slides. Really, you are not charged any interest at all if you pay your bill in full and on time every single month. So you never have to worry about any interest or fees if you pay the whole bill on time every month. It's as easy as that. So the credit card company will mail you the card and assign you a credit limit. This credit limit may be $1,000, $5,000, or $10,000, depending on how much you make, how much you said you earned when you filled out the credit application, and if you have a credit history. Now, if you've never had a credit card before, they're probably going to start you off with a smaller credit limit, such as $1,000 or $2,000, because you have no credit history with them. Much like you wouldn't lend your buddy $5,000 if you've never lent him anything before and don't even know if he has a job to pay you back, you may only loan him $100 and see how he pays that back. This is exactly what the credit card company is doing to you with this limit. They're seeing if you can pay them back in small amounts. Now, what is a credit limit, you ask? It's basically saying to you, Nelson, you can spend up to $10,000 a month with this card. Up to $10,000 you could spend. Now, you go out, you buy things, movies, plane tickets, you start running up a balance, a tab, so to speak. Now, the end of the month comes, and you spent $1,000 on this card. So you basically now owe the credit card company $1,000 for that month because you were using their money to pay for your day-to-day expenses. You weren't using your money. You weren't using your debit card to pay for these things. You were, in essence, borrowing from the credit card company. So now you must pay them back for that. And every month, the credit bill is due. So now it's time to pay the bill. So when it comes time to pay the bill, you'll get an email notification saying payment is due this day. And it'll be the same date every month. So you will log on to the credit card website and pay that specific credit card bill with your debit card information, which you're going to be typing in. The credit card bill amount is then going to be deducted from your checking account, and then the cycle starts over. As I've said, you should only use your debit card a few times and for specific transactions, such as paying your credit card bill, student loan, or mortgage. Now, some of you are probably saying, well, what is all this credit card interest I've heard about? I've heard they charge you interest for using their card, and I've been told to stay away from them, and it's nothing but bad news. Well, yes and no. Listen carefully, because you are not charged any interest or fees if you pay your entire credit card balance for the month in full and on time. If you had a $1,000 credit card bill due and you only managed to pay $500 of it, well, that sets off alarm bells at the credit card company. Now they're going to charge you interest because you didn't make the payment in full, and they may charge up to 30% of what you still owe them for the month, plus any fees if you were late to pay the bill. Now, those of you out there in credit card debt completely understand what I'm talking about, since this is how you got into debt in the first place. Spending more on the credit card than what you had in the bank. Just because the bank gives you a high credit limit and says you can spend up to $5,000 a month doesn't mean you should be doing that. You should only spend as much as you have in your checking account. Treat your credit card like you would your debit card and you'll be completely fine. Now, this is the ultimate rule of credit cards. And as I just said, I'm going to repeat again. Rule number 1 is never spend more on your credit card than what the balance in your checking account is. In other words, treat your credit card like you would your debit card. If you only have $1,000 in your bank for the month of January, you will not spend more than $1,000 on your credit card. Think about it. Even if the bank is saying, even if the credit card company is saying, you could spend up to $10,000. We gave you that limit. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't listen to their scams. Don't listen to their tricks. They want you to miss a payment. They want you to spend more than you have in your bank. You may only have $1 in your checking account, and they'll give you a $10,000 limit. Now, unless you know you're going to get a paycheck for that month, you shouldn't spend more than $1 on your credit card. Banks want you to spend more money than what is in your bank account. They want you to owe them for more than you can afford every month. This is how America runs. Now let's take a look at an example of a credit card statement that I get every single month.